Price action faced yet again another tough pullback, which allowed bulls to prove their interest. The downside face today was looked at and talked about during last night's stream as a potential conversion of one of the longest standing regressions in the asset's history. And we confirmed that breakout today. Welcome back to the channel on this Macro Monday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's go ahead and dive straight in to ticker symbol FNGR, and you are observing FNGR on the hourly chart here. And the reason why I have this crazy chart here is because I would like to express to you the importance of using volatility. For example, this is this is my personal script using a Bollinger Bands script within it, right? But this is my reversion variant. And it is telling me what the mean is, right, based on this tag here. So this was a reversion to a mean based on the very top side of a 2 standard deviation away from the mean touch of the resistance, and then that retracement all the way back down to the minus 2 standard deviations away from the mean support. Okay, so from this area here, we got that sell signal, we got that buy signal from down here, and then we came right back up. Of course, whatever happens when we break out of key resistance, we usually tend to come back and validate it as a support. So it looks like we may have gotten that support validation thus far. Of course, this $6.70 target that you're looking at here is actually based around the after hours closing. Now, the target that we actually closed at market, I believe, was $6.74. So it is showing that we have some support validation right now, or confirmation happening as we speak, right? Well, it'll continue obviously in the early pre-market, but yes, there is a potential here that we can see a support. I mean, we're going to deviate within this, right, before we can continue in any direction. We're going to validate exactly what that direction is going to be. And there were several ways that we were able to identify that we were going to resist today from 736 to pull back and eventually test a bottom side support. Not only was the support given right, within the Bollinger Bands here, but the Bollinger Bands also displayed what the resistance could be. So if we actually change the standard deviation multiplier to a multiplier of 3 instead of just 2, then you'll go ahead and see that top side right here at the line is $7.35, and we went to $7.36. So very curious times here for the asset, and you can actually see that this was a lot cleaner of a resistance grab than literally any other iteration here. Yeah, this was pretty nice, right? So let's go ahead and now continue on the analysis here, because there is a lot to talk about, right? So let's go ahead and pull up this chart right over here, which is the manipulation chart, right? Using the ARQ composure algorithm based on the algorithms that we just released, and the ones that you're seeing in the introduction of this video, right? So these are 2 shots that we noticed today within the 30-second intervals, candles, right? So every candle here takes 30 seconds to complete. So we got 2 shots of manipulation, which essentially pushed the price all the way back down to the area of around 617. And then the asset started to kind of balance out and started to recover. Now, actually, I believe it was Welby. So shout out to you, my brother. He actually mentioned today, I hope it was him, right? So he actually mentioned today that the 2 shots of manipulation from Friday were similarly placed. And please go ahead and take a look at that. These are the 2 manipulation shots that we got on Friday the 13th, just this last Friday. And this was just today. So yeah, very, very, very close in proximity, right? And also within time. Arguably, today was around, let's see. So this was 6 to 6:40, and this was around... Yeah, it's just about a 2-hour difference, right? But still, it's very curious that we got those 2 shots just like we did on Friday, right? So now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart, and this is going to display the area of support that we were looking for, right? So I was live with William last night for a few hours, and we went over the charts, and I gave away a lot of things there. And I think that this was, I'm not sure if this was the actual support range that I spoke about. It was 638 to 615 with a focus of 623. this was pretty much what I expected as a potential pullback, right? But of course, price came down to 617, very close to that 615 bottom that we've already had this area of support from before, right? So now that we did get that here, I want to push here to the next chart, because this next chart was where I initially spoke about it with William, and this is what we stated. Okay, so first of all, congratulations to the bulls, because we now have the first weekly candle closure. This is the closing of the weekly candle right here. We just started this one here. So what I want you to notice here is that this weekly candle just closed, and it's the first weekly candle to close outside of this regression line. Okay, now what is that regression line that I'm talking about, right? Let's go ahead and zoom out so that you can see exactly what I mean. This is a massive descending broadening wedge, and you can see here that the last candle ever printed upside of this regression has been never. We have literally never closed a weekly candle above this regression line in the entire trading history of the FNGR asset. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of a big deal that we're getting this first closure outside of this. So what I ended up saying is that when we're breaking key resistances like this is a major inflection point. When we break this, the chances is that we will face a relative or some type of rhyming resistance for us to use back to pull back and start validating the support conversion of that massive regression line. And that's in fact what happened today. Now, the targets that we looked at are right up here. So I said that we would touch the area between $7.36 and $8 or 8.01 today. Right. So what we ended up doing was that we reached in the pre-market, we reached $7.36 before we started to retrace. And now the retracement, this was also spoken about. I said that the chances for us to come back to the 0.618 at 642, even into the 0.5 at $6 would be incredibly bullish for the asset, because this is the golden pocket, right? Between the 0.382 and the 0.618 at 642. I said, yeah, the 0.382 is at 561, but I don't see that as likely for us to reach that. If anything, it would be the 0.5, right? So we ended up coming down to 617, and it actually bounced right off of that golden pocket, as you can see here, right? And we closed at 674. Now, I know that you're not seeing here the 736 touch, but that's because it's on the weekly. So if you go over here and you take a look at the 12-hour chart, take a look at that. Bam, right where we said, right? And then this thing retraced right back to start validating the conversion of resistance into support from this massive, massive weekly regression line. So, I mean, I can't even express to you how bullish this actually is, right? So, it's plain and simple, right? It's just, it's a traditional, it's a textbook breakout play. Right, so that's really the reason why we were able to notice that there could be an upside and then a downside here, right? So I said that potentially Monday into Tuesday we can then start retesting the 736 into the $8 zone, and then yeah. But we'll go ahead and see what's going to happen though. Let's go ahead and continue on to the next chart here. But I really wanted to point that out to you because this is absolutely bullish for the asset and a very very bullish statement from it, right? So let's go ahead and move on and take a look at this. Not only did we get the 617 from the other methods using the Bollinger Bands and volatility and all that stuff, but the Gaussian bands, right? The Gaussian bands also gave us this crazy touch of right at the 617 of the top side of the bands. Right, so that is perfectly executed today. Look at that. That is just massive. Check it out. Wow. Right? So the Gaussian bands caught price action here. Bulls loaded up like crazy. And I did say yesterday that you would be, if you're sharp enough, you'll be able to catch this downside here to get a discount before a bounce to the upside. I called it a wick down, right? We literally wicked down to there. Right, so now if you did catch entry down in this zone here, congratulations to you. You are definitely way up. Okay, so what I wanted to point out here is that yes, this is officially the first candle that broke outside of the Gaussian bands, right? So you're looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive days of massive exposure within the inside of the bands, right? This candle inside, this candle inside, this candle inside with the wicks, right? Body in here with the wick outside, entire candle in here, and the obviously this candle in here, right? So this would be the first one in the last 2 weeks that broke outside of the Gaussian band. So it's only natural for the price action to come back down and validate that support, just to make sure that we have a ground below us or a floor below us, right? So that's kind of what it did. It reached down here and it just came back up. I understand that we definitely got a hit piece, right? I hear it, right? I definitely see that you know, they were I forgot who it was. Lots of brokers and stuff spreading all kinds of terrible news regarding the earnings being a miss instead of a beat. Right. So despite that, the fact is that there were several things indicating that we would come back down to this level. Right. And I did speculate on that last night, too. So we got that nice bounce to the upside. It's looking good. We closed another daily candle upside of the Gaussian bands. So that's, you know, it's kind of setting the pace for a continuation to the upside. Let's move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so regarding the on-balance volume, even more acquiring of the asset today. So price action is sitting currently at 674 close, right? And you can see right over here, when we were at about $8.01, this is where the on-balance volume was, right? So way higher in the price. We had way lower in the on-balance volume. That is telling you that a lot of people are acquiring this asset and not letting it go, right? So this is looking pretty good. All right, so now referring back to the ABCD strategy, we're moving onwards and upwards down this regression line, right? So of course the targets that we're speaking of for the immediate short term, 736 would obviously be one of those resistances. So I guess from this point, since I've noted before that we have a 726 touch, we can keep in mind that a 736 to 726 could be a resistance range, leading up to a top side of that at 752 before us coming back down to validate our current highs of about 701, right? Support conversion, and then we continue onwards to combat that 797 to 801 target, right? So there's a potential that this can happen tomorrow, but we will go ahead and observe price action as we go. So 30-minute time frame RSI looking pretty bullish, making a crossover. The SMA 14 with an upside pivot. The RSI signal is currently sitting within the gravitational zone, so there could be a little danger to face a little bit of a pullback here. So let's see the 5-minute. 5-minute time frame is just outside of the gravitational zone with consolidation. That's very curious. Let's see. 10-minute time frame is showing an upside continuation into the 15-minute time frame, and this is also outside of the gravitational zone. So actually, I'm not really seeing a downside here. I'm not seeing a downside here, but this is going to face a downside based on a resistance touch, and probably not. Well, I mean, I can't speculate on exactly where it's going to land. We can only use our probabilities, right? But I think that this would be initially bullish from the start. And it would then face a technical pullback based on the next resistance grab, just like normal, right? So now moving on to the bi-hourly time frame, consolidation here, and it's not in danger to an upside or downside. Almost a similar situation here on the 4-hour time frame RSI, where the RSI signal is slightly pivoted towards the downside. SMA 14 slightly pivoted towards the upside, and we're using it as a resistance, but nonetheless still kind of consolidating. Right, same situation here with a 6-hour time frame, and also same situation with a daily time frame. So we have all this consolidation happening, but all that's telling me, honestly, is that the immediate short-term time frames are going to be responsible for kind of mitigating or deciding what side the asset is going to take. Right, so seeing that we have a massive breakout and confirmation behind it, I would have to side with the bulls in this side. And please remember that I wasn't shy to share with you the potential drop to $6 yesterday, right? So I just want to kind of put that out there that I will call the downside or the upside as long as it is shown in the charts, and I will make sure that you know my transparent truth, my absolute truth, right? So what I am liking though is the 3-day time frame RSI. Check that out. It's in the gravitational zone, making a bullish crossover upside of the SMA 14. This is bound to get pulled to the upside. Same situation here with a 5-day time frame. It's in the process of getting pulled to the upside. It just entered the opposing side's gravitational zone, which would pull it back, but still, this is barely entering it. It looks like it's still facing the pressure from this gravitational zone here for a pull to the upside. We spoke about this on Friday night too. All right, so if we're gonna speculate on a potential pullback, then we would just have to kind of observe price action here. So this would technically be one, right, around the area of 690 before we can pull back to the area of 670 yet again and start validating some type of support there. But let's continue looking here. And well, in fact, we can actually touch down on this here. So I guess between 690 and 736, right? Remember that we spoke about the 726 to 736 being an area, so I would actually extend that or bring it down to the area of 690. So 690 resistance to 736 as a total with a focus at 726. I'm actually thinking that maybe even the focus could be 690, to be honest with you, but it's very close to where we are right now, so it makes me feel that, yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and keep that focus at 726. It may actually just be right there where the asset faces resistance before a pullback, very close to that 736 anyway. And the pullback, be ready, right? Be ready. There's always a chance that we can come back to the area of, let's see, in this case it would be 642, 653, right? But we want to make sure that we can be ready for those types of shifts, right? In this case, we're prepping a major breakout here, and it's a big deal. So yeah, team, I think everything is looking pretty good. You know the supports, you know the resistances. I think we should be leading a pretty good day into tomorrow, okay, team? So please remember that I have now about 11 seats left in the of the 30 for the ArcMasters trading course and mentorship program that I've actually put together, right? So please go ahead and get in touch with me at ArcMastersCourse@gmail.com, and I will get you get yourself enrolled. And I will pass you all that information upon your request, right? So ArcMastersCourse@gmail.com is what it is. And just in case you can't see it, right, we can go ahead and make that a little larger here. There you go. All right, team. So I really appreciate everybody for watching this and coming by on the live streams. I will try my best for you, right, team? Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, never, never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything would be absolutely cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell. Mañana. Adios. Yeah.